Clionadh, Cleonadh, Cleonadh. Hi y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Who's ready to spend some hypothetical money? Today we are doing the flip side to the video I did that was $1,000 Sephora fantasy basket. I had quite a few of y'all on that video say I would love to see the indie makeup version of this tag. If y'all haven't seen the Sephora video, I will leave it down below. I'm pretty sure this has been done before. I will do a little search. If I remember, I will link some things down below. But, I mean, this is pretty straightforward. It's a fantasy list of all the wonderful things I would like to buy from indie makeup companies if I had $1,000 to burn. And let me tell you, there is a lot of lusting in this. Like lots of lusting. I'm sitting here going through this and I'm like, the amount of yearning in this list is so much more than the Sephora one. I think partly because Sephora, I mean, they do restocks all the time. They do whatever's. It's something that is like readily available. Whereas when you're dealing with this indie makeup, you know, restocks, limited edition, you know, these things are so much easier to slip through your hands than a brand that's sold at, say, Sephora or Ulta. But I do have a list. I actually, y'all can like, I don't know, come for me, crucify me, do what you want to do. I kind of stopped calculating, so I'm not entirely sure how much this is. I've kind of got brands rather so much than just specific products. I do have some specific products, but a lot of them I'm just like, oh, I'd like to try anything from that company. But I do have some specifics as well. So this is kind of just a indie makeup wish list and $1,000 fantasy whatever. We're just gonna talk about the indie makeup that I would like to buy if I was independently wealthy. So why don't we start right off the gate with the company that came first to my mind, which I could easily blow the $1,000 just on this company. And that is, I apologize to whatever culture, whatever anything that I am offending by saying this. This is Cleona, Clionadh. I would love for someone down below to tell me phonetically how to pronounce that shiz. But this is the company that created the ever so famous stained glass multi-chromes. I remember the first time my poor little butt went online to them and was like, all right, I would like to buy this. I wonder how much it could possibly be. And then I clicked online and I was like, oh. Y'all, this shiz is pricey. But don't get me wrong, I've heard from varying sources here on YouTube that they are worth every single blood cent put into them that you pay for these shiz. They are an otherworldly, out of this world experience. And had I however much money to purchase from them, I would love to experience these things. I mean, they're the ones where they've got like it all up in here and they're like, look, it shifts 12 different colors. It completely defies laws of reality. And I would really like to put that on my eyes. I mean, and just even the concept, and it's not just the stained glass collection. That's just I love cathedrals. That is one of my absolute favorite sub-architect types. I wrote an essay on them, and so to have the whole idea of stained glass incorporated into that just gives me all kinds of happy, spooky, artistic vibes. So I would love to try, honestly, anything from them. They are so expensive, but they're so pretty, and so many of y'all have been like, you need to try these shimmers, and I looked and I saw their site is currently down due to the C word, but I was just kind of scrolling through while I was researching this and I'm like, that's a pretty green, that's a pretty green, that's a pretty green, I need that all over my face. So maybe in the future, as my indie makeup experience and whatever gets a little bit more, I don't know, hopefully I'll be able to try them out at some point. Then we have Menagerie Cosmetics. And we have got some specifics. I would love the Violet Ink Micro Palette, the Whale Song Palette, the Pastel Pup Palette, and the Arthurine Blush Palette Volume 1. I really want this shiz. Some reason, every time it restocks, I don't know, wandering in outer space. And then by the time I check Instagram, by the time I check Snapchat, by the time I check all the places where y'all have been like, hey, you remember that palette you said you really, really wanted to buy? Yeah. Well, they're restocking, but by the time I check it, that was like, 34 hours ago. So I just haven't been able to really double down on this, but I've heard wonderful things. I hold in such high esteem Teresa, Karen Harris, Lacey, definitely Betty Jean from Butte Bean. I mean, those are like if they say it's good, I'm like, that's it. I'm sold. I'm buying it. They are indie makeup aficionados. They know what's what. They know what's good. They know one formula from the next. And the Menagerie Cosmetics palettes are ones that come up a lot, especially since I was so disappointed in the ColourPop pastels. So many of y'all were like, you need to get that pastel pop palette. I would like to. I just haven't done it yet. It's also always problematic because when they do these restocks, the indie companies, they do the restock and it's gone like that. If you don't have the money at that moment, well, sucks to be you. Then we have Nomad Cosmetics. I would really, really love to try the Cartagena Magica palette. The color story on that palette is so beautiful. I'm pretty sure Butte Bean did a video on it. She does a lot of indie makeup reviews, trying on looks, first impressions. I will leave her channel below. She is bae. She is queen. I love her. And this palette just looks, I looked at it and I was like, oh, why, yes, there's a lot of lust for that right there. It's just so beautiful. I think they also do the Tokyo palette, which is another one that I'm super, super interested in. A couple of y'all have said that's really good. So obviously I want to have that. And then, okay, this is one that I really, really, really like. Some of these things I like. I've been to the site. I've done the whole thing. We've filled up the cart. We've done the thing and we just haven't done the thing. We haven't come full circle in taking the money out of the account for the thing. Mostly because I'm on a low buy, and so I'm trying not to buy things just willy-nilly. If I'm gonna buy something, I would like it to be for the purpose of a video, which I guess anything I could buy, I could somehow put in a video. Y'all know what I mean. I'm trying to be good. Trying to teach myself good spending habits, and that's not filling out a $300 worth of cart on an indie makeup site. But Lethal Cosmetics, I have probably 4 custom palettes filled out on this site. They just have such a beautiful array. I've got a pinky purpley palette. I've got a yellowy orangey green palette. I've got just a green palette. I've got a palette filled with shimmy shinies. There are just so many different eyeshadows from this company that look so beautiful, that are such unique shades that I feel like, see, that's one thing I love about indie makeup. Yes, I love a lot of my high-end mainstream whatever. I got my Anastasia, I got my Natasha Denona, Melt Cosmetics, all of that jazz. But I feel when you want super unique colors, either in matte or shimmer formula, indie companies that do single shadows, there's so much passion and drive and thought put into each of these shades. They curate such beautiful, unique colors that I'm like, there ain't no way any or most of the companies at Sephora Ulta are gonna come out with this shiz. No! It is way too out there. It is way too just different and unique and amazing. And this is one thing that I find we're a little bit of discussion here. But if we go up to the first CLIO and ADH, I just seriously don't know what to do with that DH at the end. But you're thinking about how expensive they are, right? But if you think about it, what other company, mainstream brand, has done what they have, because I feel like if they had, we would know about it. Like in the medical field, if we found a cure for something, we would be hearing about it. Well, maybe that's a whole nother mental whatever. But it's like, yeah, they're expensive, but I was literally sitting here and thinking like, yeah, but they're the only ones doing it. I don't see KVD, Urban Decay, Tarte, Too Faced putting a lot of money into perfecting this kind of formula, which is super, super crazy unique to these people. So it's worth spending that extra money, especially since this is where it exists. Like, are mainstream companies just boring? They don't want to blow the socks off of people with crazy 12 color shift multi-chrome shades? I don't know. It calls into question my loyalty to a lot of these mainstream companies and what they're actually doing with their billions of dollars. And what are they doing with their billions of dollars if not putting it into researching, creating 12 color shift multifaceted duochrome shades? I mean, priorities, people. Multi-chromes. Let's do it. I would also really like to get the Lethal Cosmetics highlighters. I was watching a video from Porcelain and she said that they're really, really good. They've got shades and colors that look like they would be right up my ethereal, otherworldly, and vaguely threatening aesthetic. Midas Cosmetics, a company that I absolutely love. They have a phenomenal eyeshadow formula. I would love to get, I forget what they're called. They released them and I was like, oh boy, but I'm on my low buy and I didn't see any point in me purchasing it. But those like eyeliner, graphic, whatever, cake liner palettes, they have like the neon one and then the pastel one. And I'm like, my inner artsy fartsy editorial whatever artistic side wanted to just release itself and create so much. I did remind myself that I had all kinds of other artsy fartsy editorial stuff. I have a drawer of it that I don't use, and so having two palettes of these things that I may or may not use, I was kind of like, I would love to have those and at least have the opportunity to have them and maybe use them. I would like to have the option of not using them, if you know what I mean. I would like to have them so that I could then make the decision between, oh, I can use it or no. I want to know the difference. I want to make the decision. They look so pretty. I've heard really good things. I'm like, I could do all kinds of graphic whatevers. I could do my eyebrows. I could do all kinds of, sorry about my epileptic fans out there. I could do so much with that. And they're such a better price than the Norvina cake liners and things like that. You get way more colors. You are supporting an indie makeup brand, a fantastic, inclusive indie makeup brand. Yeah, I would really, really like to have those. Now we're going to go down an avenue that is going to make my boo, my good Judy JD, if you're watching this, you have influenced me, my dear. We're gonna go down an avenue that we have hardly ever gone down, and we're gonna be talking about indie nail polish. He's the one who introduced me into the holographic polish life. And he recently got me into this one brand called Polish Me Silly. Obviously, I'm leaving links down below, and he sent me 2 of their glow polishes, and I shiz you not, these things glow. They just give off this radiance that just makes me sit there and you look at them and you're like, I could do this all day. I have an orange one and a purple one, and I basically want all of them. They're just so pretty, and ever since he kind of got me on this train of trying different nail polishes and stuff like that, it's kind of opened up an artistic avenue for me to really just be all kinds of whatever and decorating my tips. And those 2 polishes really just they're so pretty, and he keeps sending me like pictures and messages on Instagram and Messenger on Facebook, and I'm like, they're all so pretty. Because your girl loves highlighter, which is shimmy shiny for the face, and these nail polishes are shimmy shiny for the nails. And then kind of in that still is Holo Taco. When they released that Pride Rainbow collection and they had that yellow and that green, I really, really wanted those. I did not have the money for them when they came out. I don't know if they're still there. I haven't checked, partly because I don't want to go and be like, yes, I'm gonna buy it, and it being gone. Because yellow is a happy, happy color for me, and the thought of having that in all holographic glory on my nails makes me just, it makes me feel happy. Obviously, I love green. Say it ain't so. I love green on my face, my hair, my nails. And I would really, really like to try. They came out with this one that's recent as of filming this. It's like a birthday one, and it's this white, hollow, iridescent fantasy shade. I really, really want to get into more nail stuff. If y'all are interested in seeing any kind of like nail sort of content from me, I'll suck. I will suck at it. Let's just preface it with saying that. But if y'all are interested in seeing that kind of something, definitely let me know down below. Then we've got sort of like just brands, insert indie makeup brand that I would like to try here. We've got more. I would love more from Sugarpill. They're a little less indie. Basically what I want from Sugarpill is all of their single eyeshadows in pro palettes for myself. That is what Soraya aspires to own, all the Sugarpill single eyeshadows in pro palettes. I would love to try Lunatic Cosmetics, which is aesthetic for makeup. For me, that contour book that everyone talks about, I'm like, I would absolutely love to take that shiz and slather it all over my eyelids and in the hollows of my cheeks and on the apples of my cheeks and just everywhere. Aesthetic, color-wise, it is absolutely everything. I mean, and Lunatic Cosmetics is an OG indie makeup brand. Like, I've heard about them long before I went. They were like the indie alternative makeup company to get into, and everybody loved that contour book because it was so inclusive and unique. You could use it on your eyes, you could use it on your face. Bitterlace Beauty, I mean, have y'all seen their highlighters? If for nothing else, I wanted it so bad. They came out with those highlighters that were like pressed to look like multifaceted jewels. And I just really, really, really want those. They're so stinking pretty. And that is a product that I would totally be all like, oh, it's a crazy highlighter that I wouldn't use, but I'll keep it to use it as an eyeshadow. You're dang dingity right, I would keep that shiz and use it as an eyeshadow. Just so pretty. And then they did those like conversation hearts, and I'm like, I want that. I want the yellow highlighter. I want the green, blue, purple, pink, puce. So pretty. So pretty. We've got Devinah Cosmetics that I would love to try. I would love to have more eyeshadows from Sydney Grace. I've used ColourPop and Sydney Grace on my eyelids today. I do have a Give Me Glow shimmer on that inner part because, you know, Give Me Glow slams at that shiz. They slam at Maxwell. Give Me Glow just slays everything that they do. I would love to have more from Blackmoon Cosmetics. You know, they're just all these. Basically, I just went online and was looking through and was just whimpering and whining like a sad little dog. I want that. I want that in my life. Why am I? I mean, this one was so much more painful to do than the Sephora one. Like, the Sephora one was like easy to come up with $1,000, but this one was like, all right, $1,000 is the starting point. Let's see if we can get to $5,000 in one video. Like I said, I could blow $5,000 easy on that first company. I apologize so much for not knowing how to pronounce your name. But there's just, since I've been opened up into the indie makeup space, there's just so much out there that's so good. I feel there's just so much more heart, so much more quality, more unique, and more just attention to so much detail that I look at brands like Too Faced and KVD and Tarte and Urban Decay and I'm like, y'all wildin' out here. Because if these indie makeup non-billionaire companies can do things like those friggity frackin' quadruple fajillion million multi-chromes, I mean, what's the point in buying Urban Decay? What's the point in buying Too Faced? I mean, just thinking about, like, you put this, you're like, all right, stained glass. And then you're like, Too Faced, chocolate bar palette. You know, I just want to go dive into the world of everything that is indie makeup. So I apologize for this not necessarily being a true $1,000 indie makeup wish basket whatever. Basically, this is just me whining about all the indie makeup that I want. And who knows, maybe 2021 will be the year that I'm like, all right, screw it. Forget mainstream brands. We're gonna give all our money to the indie people. Which honestly, support local business, y'all. That's what I've got for you all. I mean, there's just so many different companies I could pour my money into, specific products, just wanting to try out things I've never tried. I remember I used to be like, I'm not a single eyeshadow person. Now I'm like, single eyeshadows are my shiz. I would love to hear what y'all have to say about the products I talked about, if you think that they are worth me looking into and investing my money in, as well as other indie companies and other specific products that you're like, hey, I think you should look into this, as well as things, indie makeup products that you want me to review, you want me to use on my channel, so that I can kind of get an idea come 2021, the kind of indie makeup content y'all want to see. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and as always, keep it real. Mwah!